Hello and welcome back to Star City Regionals brought to you by Wasteland Gaming. We are in round 4 right now, and we have an interesting matchup for you guys. So, Talon Carrin, you may have seen him on our previous streams, is playing Black-Green Elves, and he is 3-0. He is tearing through this tournament with some Elves.
He has been professing the power of the Shaman of the Pack.
Oh yeah, he's killed many people.
New elf from Magic Origins. 1 green and a black 3/2 comes into play. Your opponent loses life equal to the number of Elves you control.
Yeah, he actually played against our round 2 feature match player, Vince Lansford, last round, and handily defeated him by playing 3 Shaman of the Packs in a row.
That's amazing.
Murdered his life total. And his opponent this round, Christopher Calhoun, is on Red Green Devotion. Similar to what we've been seeing. Any new cards in there, Nathan?
He does not look like he's got anything too new here. Everything looks very, very standard. A couple new sideboard cards, I believe, but other than that, it looks like a very standard list for Red Green Devotion. Some Whisperwood Elementals, some Elvish Mystics, Courser of Crufix, Sylvan Caryatid, into bigger things like Genesis Hydra, Hornet Queen, and Ugin. Dragon Lord Atarka, of course.
So his strategy here is just to get a ton of mana as fast as he can and play game-ending Giganto spells. And Talon looks like he is going to just be trying to get as many elves in play as possible, kill his opponent with Shaman of the Packs. And what is her name?
Dwynen?
Dwynen. The Elf Lord. Pump his team, get in there with a bunch. Almost all the cards in Talon's deck are from Magic Origins, so it's good to see the impact of Origins on Standard.
Perhaps the only archetype you can both see in Standard and Draft.
Whew.
When you play Magic Origins Limited.
Yeah, someone made a comment when going through Talon's deck earlier that he drafted it at F&M last night and hasn't dropped a game since, so... Alright, waiting for players to shuffle up. Straightening out our new Wasteland Gaming playmats. All right, so who do you like in this matchup, Nathan?
It's very draw dependent, honestly. I think well, it looks like Christopher's won the die roll. I think that's going to help him out a lot in this match. If Talon can get off to a quick start and put pressure on Christopher very quickly, he can end up getting enough damage in to finish him off with those Shaman of the Packs. Now, on the flip side, if Christopher's on the play and he can get aggressive or start grinding out Courser advantage, I believe he is heavily favored, because if he can get up to Atarka before the game is over, the game will be over because there's an Atarka on the field, and all of Talon's creatures will be dead.
Yeah, Atarka seems very, very good here. Yeah. Looks like Talon is mulliganing to 6. It looks like Chris has kept to 7. Yeah, I agree. I think it's this matchup seems like more of a race. They're just trying to... Both of the decks are not very interactive. I mean, Chris's only removal spell in the main deck cost 8, and it's a dragon. Or 7, and it's a dragon.
Yeah.
And Talon has ultimate prices in the sideboard. But other than that, I'm sorry. He has 2 ultimate prices in the main. They are on his deck list under his creatures, so maybe he's confused about what those do. He also has the new card... Guiltleaf Winnower, which is a Necrotal-esque creature. Kills a creature with power not equal to its own toughness. Alright. Talon looks like he kept his 6.
It's a very good start here from Christopher. Matched by Talon. Both of them have turn 1 plays. There's a Caryatid further going for the mana. Looks like he's going to offer the trade attack in here.
Oh, Talon doesn't want to trade that Mystic.
I would be very surprised to see Talon trade that Mystic off. There's a Swamp for Talon.
Yeah, this Elves deck, splashing black for the Winnower and also Gnarl Root Trapper, which I believe is the play here. Yep.
Yep, Gnarl Root Trapper coming down.
Ooh. And Dwynen's Elite, the 2-mana 2/2 that puts a 1/1 elf into play if you already control an elf.
That is correct.
So Talon assembling quite a force very quickly.
We can see how explosive this Elves deck can be. Potentially next turn playing Dwynen and attacking for lots.
I mean, even if he plays a Shaman of the Pack next turn, it's going to deal 5 damage to Chris.
No matter what Calhoun decides to play here, the Trapper makes it so that all of the Elves threaten the Death Touch. So blocking is not a very strong prospect. So maybe playing something like a Polukranos and leaving up a Sylvan Caryatid seems like a nice option here. Or if he needs to make red mana, perhaps we'll see a Xenagos.
That's the thing, right?
That's kind of the tell, right? Like tapping the Caryatid over the Mystic.
Sure.
Certainly not getting in this turn.
I mean, I don't like leaving the Caryatid back on blocks because the Tapper's just going to give whatever it blocks, if it does decide to block, Death Touch. That Tapper just seems really good in this matchup because this is how Chris is going to try to interact with the board. Ooh, Shaman of the Forgotten Ways.
Very, very interesting one.
I've been seeing a lot more of this card in Standard. I think it's to play around the Fog deck because that has shown up in Standard a lot. If you Biorhythm a Fog player, they're just dead. They don't have any creatures.
Yes, absolutely. Probably not very good in this matchup specifically.
No.
Talon's life total may actually just go up when he activates it.
All right, let's see what Talon has here. It looks like he also has a Sylvan Messenger in play. The elf version of Goblin Ringleader from Onslaught block. Reveal top 4 cards of your deck. Put all elves in your hand.
One.
Yeah, absolutely. Just going to draw him a bunch of cards, regas. Yeah, he's just going to send him into that 2/3. He doesn't care. I mean, you can't really block with a mana guy because Trapper's just going to get you.
Talon more than willing to trade up. No problems doing that. Right, we do see the copy of Xenagos that Chris was telegraphing. There's an ultimate price.
There's the ultimate price. And it looks like Talon's going to take 1 from his Trapper to play another Elite to put just more Elves into play. Yeah, this deck looks sweet.
Elves are quickly growing out of control. Some of them make mana, some of them make more Elves. Eventually, some of them will make someone dead.
So, looks like Chris is going to put his Xenagos into play. Try to generate a couple blockers that he doesn't really care about losing.
Yeah, making Satyrs is a nice proposition here for Christopher Calhoun. I don't know that he's going to be able to protect this Xenagos super well. Like, it's almost assuredly going to die from the next attack step, but it does, sort of soak up some damage. It protects his life total, preserves him, and lets him, look one more turn for the land drop that he's going to need.
So, Chris is about to discover that we actually don't have any Satyr tokens. I hunted high and low for them this morning for our feature match table, and every vendor was sold out of every single one. So we're just going to use a face down token for that Satyr. Talon's deck looks to be just going off right here.
I am more than impressed with the strategy so far. I was a little skeptical when the format first began. Here is a copy of Dwynen.
Well, now he has a bunch of 3/3s and 2/2s rumbling in.
I think we might see Talon just ignore the Xenagos and go straight at Christopher's face.
Oh yeah, just go upstairs.
Yeah.
So Talon also interestingly enough, he also has Collected Company and Court of Calling in this deck.
That's true.
So at any given point in time, if Chris's life total gets too low, he can just chord for a shaman and kill him out of nowhere at instant speed even.
Absolutely. Or go fishing for one with the Collected Company.
Yeah, absolutely.
The kill can come out of nowhere, and it doesn't even, like, you can't Thoughtseize it necessarily. It's too hard to play around, so you have to preserve your life total.
All right, looks like he did just kill the Xenagos.
See if any of that was actually directed at Christopher. Not sure what all those hand gestures were all about. Looks like it was all at Xenagos. 17-17 life totals here.
Yep, just make sure Xenagos goes down. I mean, Chris could throw up some blocks there, but none of them seem good at all.
Trading your token for a token doesn't seem particularly desirable.
All right, Chris is going to scry with a Temple of Abandon. See if he likes what he sees.
It is good that he's found a red source other than Sylvan Caryatid, because that thing may need to jump in front pretty quickly.
Yeah, so it looks like life totals are pretty even now, but Talon has 17 power in play. He has lethal in play already.
He needs to be building up to a Dragon Lord Atarka, and if he can keep both of his mana creatures in play and find another untapped land, he can do it. Let's see what attacks come in here from Talon. There's a trigger on Dwynen, going to gain him 1 life for each attacking elf he controls. Should go up to 22. A nice little bonus there from the new Lord from Magic Origins.
Looks like an attack for 13. Let's see if Chris wants to block any of it. 13 is a lot of damage to just take.
Yeah, I would be very surprised to see this Satyr not enter combat and block.
Something, anything.
Jumping in front of a 3/3, probably not the best route. I think just, oh yeah, what?
Jumping in front of the 3/4.
Also fine.
So it looks like Chris is going to take 10 here.
We'll see if this is a Collected Company to try and get the win. See, we are paying 4 mana here, it looks like. Ooh.
Oh, Sylvan Messenger.
Oh, there's a pack. A pretty good one there.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was Collected Company?
No,
it was a
Sylvan
Sylvan Messenger. Okay.
Yes.
I was making sure that shaman wasn't going into play.
Yeah, here's... Oh, Hornet Queen. Yeah, he's still dead, though, unfortunately.
Like, yep, gonna cast this shaman and
I would have been fine, but I'm not, unfortunately.
So Talon's deck looked...
Still a tall order to fight through all of those elves. Like, making 5 Death Touch creatures is useful, but still probably... let's see, he had 8 attackers next turn. The Messenger, I think, has Trample, is that correct?
Correct. It is a 2/2 with Trample.
So he's got he can't just put 1 in front of that and hope to take no damage. With 8 attackers and 5 blockers, he's taking at least 6. I don't see him getting out of that, even if he does play the Messenger there.
All right, so our players are going to go to sideboard.
Queen.
So we will too. It looks like we're going to start with Talon. So Talon sideboard is 2 Gather the Packs, 4 Thoughtseizes, 1 Farika, 1 Tormod's Crypt, 2 Eyeblight Massacre, 1 Murderous Cut, 2 Duresses, and 1 Reclamation Stage. I really like the Murderous Cut, and
as well.
the Farika seems okay. The Thoughtseizes seem really good. I really like Thoughtseize against these red-green Devotion decks.
Absolutely.
If you take their payoff card, they just make a whole bunch of mana and don't do a whole lot with it.
I think in this matchup, if he can protect his board by getting rid of Apollo Chronos or getting rid of a Dragon Lord Atarka,
Whew.
that's well worth the 2 life you're investing in this Thoughtseize. I think that's an excellent card to bring in. Look to see him playing that. Moving over to Christopher Calhoun's sideboard, he's got 2 Barrage of Boulders, 2 Gaia's Revenge, 3 Nylea's Disciple, 2 Tormod's Crypt, 2 Hornet Nest, 1 Arbor Colossus, 2 Den Protectors, and rounding it out, 1 Reclamation Sage. I like Hornet's Nest in this matchup.
Oh yeah, just put a bunch of blockers out
Yeah,
there.
you can continuously block something with 1 power, or make it so that 1 power isn't good enough to get in. I also kind of like Nylea's Disciple. He's going to be under a lot of pressure, his life total specifically. So having those will be of the utmost importance to make sure that he's not dying out of nowhere to these Shaman of the Packs. I also kind of like Barrage of Boulders.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Barrage of Boulder seems really good as long as he doesn't have a Dwine and out.
Exactly.
So
See if we can get some word on what cards they are actually siding in and siding out.
it's going to be interesting to see if Talon brings in his Eye Blight Massacres. I can see them being good in the early game against... Actually, they're not even that good, because all of Chris's Mana Acceleration is either Elves or cards that don't die to it. So,
I agree. Yep. Not super great. He did see the Hornet Queen. That's not a reason to bring it in.
If he even has an inkling that Chris is going to bring in the Hornet Nest, though.
That's a reasonable one.
Eye
I
Blight
still think
Massacre
he's.
seems okay.
Yeah, he's probably just using the ultimate price or maybe boarding in the cut. The cut's going to be very good anyway.
Yeah.
Needs more answers to Dragon Lord Atarka.
Atarka, Whisperwood, just Polychronos, any of the just big threats that Chris is bringing to the table.
Gonna need efficient ways to get rid of those large creatures. I'd like to see Christopher take out those Shaman of the Forgotten Ways. I don't think they're at their best in this matchup. Probably free to take those out here.
Yeah, they don't seem great. They block okay-ish, but that's the thing, is blocking is already so difficult against this elf deck if he has a Trapper in play. Alright, so it looks like Talon is siding in the Murderous Cut and the 2 Eye Blight Massacres. So maybe he knows about the Hornet's Nest coming in, or maybe he's playing around the Hornet Queen.
Perhaps.
Maybe.
I'm not sure I like bringing those in. We'll see if he can engineer a situation where it is good for him, though. We saw him break a sleeve earlier when he was showing us some of his cards, and he's having to re-sleeve some of those as we speak.
That's how excited he was about his deck, just ripping it right out the sleeves.
Absolutely.
So it looks like Chris is signing in the Hornet's Nest and the Barrage of Boulders. So just what we thought.
We like those.
Yeah, Barrage seems good. It doesn't kill the elites, but the elites aren't really what's giving you troubles. It's all the 1/1s surrounding the elites. So, and Chris's deck has no problem dealing with a Grizzly Bear, so that shouldn't be a problem.
No, certainly not. Be interesting to see this game. Christopher was on the play last time, but he did stumble a little bit in finding progressive plays. If he can capitalize on that early mana the way he was unable to do in Game 2, bring out Apollo Chronos early, a Whisperwood Elemental, something to advance his board more than just a 2-3.
So I am just seeing this for the first time, and I feel like we should address it. It looks like Chris has a championship belt of sorts on right now. I just saw a glimmer of gold from the camera. So he must be a powerful mage, to say the least.
Yeah. We'll go on record and saying that the champ is here playing in our feature match area, Christopher Calhoun.
Well, Nathan did it. He snuck in one John Cena reference. He told me he was going to do it this morning. I didn't think he had it in him. He did it.
Thank you, Christopher Calhoun, for the opening. You left the door wide open, and I had to walk through it.
I now owe Nathan $5, and it is by far the worst $5 I've ever spent in my life. All right, so players are drawing their 7s. I see a collected company in Talon's hands, along with a couple of lands. Is that 2 collected companies?
Seems reasonable. I don't know if it's a little slow. I don't think you can mulligan it if you're Talon. It's got all the lands you need and all of your spells reasonable. I don't know if you're running. Let's see. He's running how many lands?
It looks like he is running 20 lands total.
Okay, so keeping a 4-lander in a 20-land deck, you're a little worried about flooding out, but it's not like playing red where you need X number of spells. I think he'll be fine, especially with Collected Company as 1 or potentially 2 if he's got 2 of those in his hand.
All right, looks like both players kept their 7, and Chris starting off with an Elvish Mystic.
Ooh, Shaman of the pack is the draw. Just a forest for Talon. Ooh, a morph for Christopher Calhoun. That could be either Rattleclaw Mystic or Ashcloud Phoenix. I don't believe he has any other morphs in his deck list.
Whew, and a turn 3 Polychronos.
This is a good start for Christopher Calhoun.
Let's see if Talon has an ultimate price. Looks like he's... Nope, doesn't have it. That would have been good there.
Elvish Mystic, right on time off the top.
Oh, that is an Elvish Visionary,
yep.
I believe. F&M promo Elvish Visionary from a couple years ago.
Yes, indeed. Looks like a couple copies of Shaman of the Pack in Talon's hand.
Yeah, that doesn't look great in the face of this Polychronos.
Not particularly good at the moment. You have to commit a lot to get full value out of those, and if you commit too much, Polychronos might get hungry and eat the entire world.
All your permanents.
Just all of them.
Oh, looks like he's just going to activate for 2, fight the Visionary, and rumble him for 9.
I actually really like this play. It's aggressive, and it's putting a whole lot of pressure on Talon to do something quickly.
Yeah, I think Talon might be in a little bit of trouble here. Looks like Talon's setting up for a collected company.
Pondering the attack, gonna commit to it. There is the collected company.
Let's see what we get.
There's a Mystic.
Ooh.
There's a Messenger.
Oh, can't get Messenger though.
Yeah, a little too expensive. I believe that's Nissa.
Nissa, yeah.
Yeah, Nissa's quite good here. Gets an extra land. I believe that is a Dwynen's Elite as the second card chosen here.
That is a decent collected company, actually. Casual 5 power at instant speed into play.
Yeah.
Gives him a chump block for this Polychronos.
Some nice pressure. I like that the Elves can so quickly come from nowhere and become very menacing.
Oh yeah, like I said before, this deck looks spicy, and Collected Company looks like it does a lot of work in this deck.
Yeah, so there's the Rattleclaw Mystic. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana? 8. 8 with the activation.
Oh, well that's Anugan. So that's a good one.
Yes.
Looks like he's just going to -3, clear the board except for his Polychronos.
That's an interesting play.
Yeah, I think he's just worried about Talon mounting some kind of a...
I actually like plussing there and just killing the Nissa. I think.
Yeah, you're not really worried about this 2/2.
No. You also want to keep your mana under, you want to continue to make a whole bunch of mana. You're going to want those mana creatures in play, the Rattleclaw Mystic, the Elvish Mystic. And you want the devotion symbol so that your Nykthos is still doing something.
All right, so...
Nonetheless, effective play.
Looks like Talon has another Collected Company here.
Yeah.
That he's, I assume, going to cast as soon as this 7/7 comes rumbling in.
Yeah, he's got to. He can't wait because Ugin threatens lethal if he takes the damage.
All right, and here's a collected company before blocks.
Looks like it will resolve. Court of Calling, Elvish Mystic, Trapper, Mystic, and can't quite tell what the last one was.
Yep, just gonna put 2.
Trapper. Wait, Trapper Mystic, excuse me.
Yep. Trapper
Murderous
Mystic.
Cut was the last card. Obviously not a creature you can put into play.
Also, not really one you want to send to the bottom.
No, certainly not. That would have been a really nice one just to draw.
All right, we're
Plus
gonna
target the Trapper.
bolt the Trapper.
Passing of the turn. Looking pretty grim here for Talon. Probably going to see game 3 here. Talon, considering if he has any possible outs to get out of this game. Oh, looks like we have a judge call. Very interesting.
All right, give us 1 second here. We are going to go to our away screen while this judge call gets resolved. We will be right back as soon as it is. Hang in there. All right, sorry about that, guys. It looks like we had, or Talon was asking for clarification. He wanted the oracle text of a card. Looks like he's going to play an Elvish Visionary into a Trapper, get some blockers in play so he doesn't die to this Polychronos.
Seems like just delaying the inevitable right now. Ugin, a threat that I don't think Talon can answer here. Polychronos can continue to chip away at the board, forcing chump blocks, and then Ugin upstairs should finish this game off after a few turns.
I mean, I actually like just -2ing the Ugin and clearing out the blockers and swinging for 7, and then if he lets go untap with his Ugin, he's just dead. So,
yeah, that does take away multiple blocks from... Oh, here we go.
a Genesis Hybrid Drift for 5.
Looks like we have an Urborg in play. The reason those fetch lands can tap for mana. There's Nalia's Disciple, gonna gain, I believe, just 4.
Just 4, because the Genesis Hydra is not in play yet.
Correct.
Genesis Hydra is a trigger on cast.
I do like your line of minusing before you attack. That shuts down Dwynen's Elite, so
Correct.
it cannot make an extra token. And then you have lethal in many different flavors.
I mean, to be
You
fair,
so
he can
choose.
just do that again next
You
turn.
just minus and clear the way. It's very, very easy. Talon actually has to play a Dwynen to be able to block.
Oh, looks like he's just going to bolt the elf.
I don't hate that play. I like putting a little more pressure on at this point if you're going to go ahead and make the attack first. Many roads lead to victory for Christopher Calhoun this game.
Oh, looks like there's a Nissa. Talon going to go fetch up a forest. Put it into play. Unfortunately, it is only 6 lands, so he will not flip the Nissa this turn. I believe Chris is making sure that he has 2 of the actual card Nissa, as he is using the Magic Origins Planeswalker checklist cards. Just keeping him honest.
Very, very important. I've had opponents try to goad me into telling them how many of a card I was playing to prove that I had all of them. The appropriate response is each time you play a new checklist card, you pull out a new flip card.
Looks like Talon's just shredding his sleeves.
Perhaps a trip to the booth is in order after this round to get some new sleeves.
A fresh set. All right, so this game, it would appear to me that it is going to go to game 3. Which puts Talon on the play, which I think will up his odds of winning pretty substantially.
Yeah, by a large margin. So here is Dwynen's Elite going to make a token. We expect to see Ugin -3. It's going to clear away the Genesis Hydra as well, but that's okay because the attack is still lethal.
Sure. Yep, and it looks like that's what...
He's doing the math. We're on 8. Thinking about it once again.
Oh, looks like he's going to plus and kill the Nissa.
Chris just taking the slower route to victory. I'm not even sure that it's appropriate to call it the safer route to victory.
No, I also do not like that lack of attack with that Nylea's Disciple.
It's time to get the beats on, young man. John Cena, we thought you were here. The champ is not in the building.
I'm giving you $5, Nathan. You're not going to bleed anything else out from me.
Hey, man. All I need is your company in the booth. You ain't got to pay me. Can't buy my love.
Maybe I'll just give you $5 so you don't mention John Cena again. I feel like that's more fair.
Deal. That attack bringing Talon down to 4. Perhaps at this point we will see more elves coming down.
I mean, it's pretty much all he's got, right? Elves,
Yes,
elves, and more
I suppose
elves.
so. He's not drawing any removal spells. Gonna hit you for 2.
Yeah. Go
Little,
out swinging.
Little action there.
Show Chris you're not kidding around. Right, so I think Chris should plus his Ugin, minus his Ugin. Really doesn't matter. Swing with his team. I think he is...
If he remembers that he has an attack step and can activate Ugin, he should win this game. Oh, it looks like we're going to play Polychronos.
Activated Nykthos for 6, so he has 2 green floating. Looks like he's going to use his fresh Polychronos to shoot down both of Talon's elves.
It would appear that
Or,
way.
I'm sorry, just one of them.
I believe he has 3 damage to assign here.
And then he can plus his Ugin to kill the other one.
I suppose that works as well. We found a route to victory, assuming there is not a collected company, which there is. There is a collected company.
There's always a collected company.
Indeed. The shields were down last turn. Hopefully he has not found his way into...
So it looks like he found a
Nissa.
Trapper and a Nissa. And that Nissa's going to chump block.
I would assume so.
As well as this Trapper. Show me the third real Nissa.
We've got 2 more. We just really like the foil one. Please believe we've got all the Nissas that we need. Trigger's gonna find 1 more forest to put in Talon's hand. Dwynen's elite down, and the attack step gonna force 2 chump blocks, perhaps.
So actually with this attack, yeah, he has to chump block both just to not be dead to the Ugin, even though he was dead to the Ugin about 1,000 turns ago, approximately.
Puzzlingly passive play. So it looks like he has chosen to go to 1 here. Not sure if he's going to be able to do anything to stem the tide at this point. So land going to flip over Nissa.
Alright, so I'm not really sure what Talon's line here is, considering he, I don't believe, has any way to gain life in his deck outside of Dwynen attacking.
Yeah. He's got to find a way to deal with Ugin right now and also present a number of blockers equal to the number of attackers Christopher can create, which is currently 3.
I believe that is a Reclamation Sage. Yep, so he's just going to
there it is.
Turn the dial on Ugin up, finish Talon off. Put him out of his misery.
We're going to see game 3 here between Talon, Carrin, and Christopher Calhoun. Once again, black-green Elves and red-green Devotion squaring off in our feature match for round 4 here at the Star City Regionals tournament, hosted by the Wasteland Gaming.
Absolutely. And we are in round 4 of 8, I believe. And after the 8 rounds of Swiss, there will be a top 8, and we will be here for every single round, bringing it right to you at home. It's like you're here, really.
Absolutely. Having some microphone technical difficulties here, abounding at El Mall Santa Fe,
as it's locally known. Yeah, the judge staff has been having a bit of problems with their equipment today.
Little bit of a time here. Things kind of, they're running. We wouldn't say that they're running super smoothly, but they are running.
It's getting back. It's getting back on track now. We had a small break in between rounds 2 and 3 because of a printer malfunction, I believe.
Yes. We had to repair from a failure to drop, and then subsequent pairing did not go super
Actually,
well.
I believe it was the opposite. It was not a failure to drop. It was a failure to not drop your opponent. Someone had accidentally marked their opponent as dropping.
Oh, I see.
Instead of themselves.
Very unfortunate. The old switcheroo.
Yeah, just get them. Yeah, you beat me in a match. Well, you're not playing in this tournament anymore, so how about that?
Oh my.
All right, so players shuffling up, getting ready for game 3. Looks like we have a little bit. Looks like we'll have enough time left in this round to close it out. We are getting note from our table spotter, Brad Vance, like that the backup feature match is actually over now. So after this one, we'll go to a short break before we bring you round 5. But if this game goes anything like game 1, it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Well, like game 1, Talon mulling 2-6.
Worked the first time, right?
It did. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. See if it pays off for him. We do appreciate the smiley face Chris giving us with his hand.
Yep, looks like Chris is satisfied with his 7. Ready to face the onslaught of Elves.
Elves on the play is a scary thought. He's got the Mystic. Needs a forest.
Well, that's
Herboard,
a
forest.
Ooh,
This
all
hand
right.
is very good. I think you have to keep this.
I believe that is a Llanowar Waste. Oh, and an Elvish Mystic on 1.
Oh, he does have Llanowar Waste. Even better. See if we see. Yep, the reply exactly the same. Forest and Mystic. Another land here for Talon. He'll be able to hit his 3rd land drop. That's a very good sign for him. Dwynen's Elite and an attack for 1. Once again, I don't think Christopher wants to trade off Elves. That's not a spot that he wants to be in.
I think Talon is just setting up for a really big Shaman of the Pack here. I noticed it in his hand earlier, and he is going to have many Elves in play. He already has many Elves in play, and he is soon to have many more. And a Mountain from Chris. Let's see. Ooh, a barrage of boulders in his hand.
That's a very nice one. It does take out his own Mystic, but I think it's a cost you're willing to pay here. And just nothing, a passing of the turn.
I believe it only deals 1 to their creatures.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Correct. So his elf will be safe while the Talon just getting aggressive. Coming in for 4.
Yeah, willing to trade any of his old creatures. And another Dwynen's Elite, creating more fuel for the Shaman of the Pack fire.
Oh, this Shaman of the Pack is going to be a biggin. Let's see if Chris thinks now is the right time to pull the trigger on that barrage of boulders. Unfortunately, oh, it looks like he's going to. All right, cool. Yep,
There's the barrage.
He does not want to get beaten up by these Shaman of the Packs either.
He's still got these 2/2s bearing down on him, unfortunately. Another land for Talon. Not doing too badly here. We're getting in a collected company range. Christopher's life total down to 7 after the Shaman comes down.
Whew! That Shaman would have been
Chris
brutal last
really
turn.
hasn't advanced his board presence very much either. See what he does here. Looks like a Annulli's Disciple, gaining him 3 life. And Ultimate Price can take care of that. Gonna block the 3, take 4 more. Down to 6 life. A very, very good start here from Talon. He's got Christopher on the back foot.
Rather quickly, too.
Yes, agreed.
There's a Polychronos.
Polychronos. Maybe too little too late here. Especially if Talon has another Shaman.
If Talon has a Dwynen here, Chris is just dead.
That is true.
Looks like he's just
Looks like
swinging
no
with the team.
Dwynen. Gonna block there, take 4 down to 2.
And Chris is on the ropes. I think Talon has a collected company in his hand, too.
Yeah,
So.
a passing of the turn here means that's gotta be it. Everything else he would just play into the board.
Oh. Maybe he's not passing. Also, if he has a Shaman of the Pack, Chris is just dead.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah,
All right, he
he's
is
certainly not
passing.
slow rolling that. He's thinking about whether to play the card in his hand.
Oh, I believe he has a Cord of Calling in his hand as well.
Oh, interesting. Could see him cord for Trapper.
He can also cord.
I don't like that play very much, to tell the truth.
To be fair, he can also cord for Thornbow Archer, which is a 1-mana 1/2, and when he attacks, each opponent loses 1 life if they do not control an elf.
Reasonable one.
Which would, in fact, kill Chris.
Here's another land. He can actually just go ahead and cord right now, and I think he's safe to go get Shaman.
In response to the trigger,
he can only kill 1. So there will still be 2 elves upon resolution of the trigger, and that would do it. Doesn't even need to go into the red zone.
So it looks like Talon's just thinking about how he will choose to dispatch his foe and what cards to play around. He hasn't seen any instant speed removal from Chris yet, so.
Oh, here we go. Yep. Going for the monstrous. Gonna get you in response with the Cord of Calling. That'll do it if he has it in the deck.
Yes, which I
Assuming they're not in the sideboard, this match is over.
Just about 100% positive he still has him in the deck. So
well, we see 1.
Chris is gonna make him show it to him.
Something tells me he's gonna find. Yep, there it is.
And there it is.
Get you for 3. Good match. Good games. Round 4 is over.
Absolutely. And we have about 5 minutes until round 5 is about to start. So for Jeff Stouter
and Nathan Satterfield,
live from the booth at the Mall de Santa Fe.
El Mall Santa Fe.
Mall Santa Fe.
That is the actual commercial name of this place.
Yes. We will see you in a little bit. Thanks for watching.